We got some bits and pieces, odds and ends. Some pretty important stuff, really. Okay, I'm reading an article in Independent Journal Review, a pretty much right-wing organization. Things seem to be slanted in the direction of the right-wing neocon. You get the idea. So I'm reading the article about political things like donations made to candidates and political PACs and governors and senators and agents of politicians and their campaigns, etc. Very large donations coming to certain people from certain other people, and there seems to be, in my way of thinking of it, large amounts of money being passed here for political gain. I just think that's just pretty weird in a country where the citizenry chooses someone from amongst the citizenry to represent them in, say, Congress, or picks someone from the citizenry to serve as a president or vice president or senator, congressman, governor, state senator, attorney general, etc. All this money. I mean, we're talking millions and millions and millions of dollars to get somebody elected. And we're talking about money coming from corporations and Wall Street people and banks, Federal Reserve, no doubt. Directly or indirectly. And it's just mind-boggling. For example, I'll give you a sentence here out of this particular article. The article is about candidate gets $500,000 from Clinton ally. Yeah, it's pretty sleazy alley stuff, really. Now, the identity of her husband in FBI is raising questions. This is by Jason Howerton. Don't know him, don't care. Alright, and there's a lot of gibberish and talking and insinuation and perhaps some facts. I can't verify them. I just wanted to point out something here. It's just a phrase. I'm not gonna burden you with all this information. You can look it up yourself. Like I said, it's at IJR.com, Independent Journal Review. You can look it up. You can log on there. You can read to your heart's content. The good stuff, the bad stuff, and the sleazy stuff, and the downright evil criminal stuff, etc., etc. I mean, we are talking about Democrats here, aren't we? I suppose there could be some decent Democrats on the planet. I can't think of any at the moment. Well, okay, Ron Paul, maybe. Not Rand Paul. That sleazebag bully can kiss my ass. Oh, I suppose I should explain why I said that. He wants the government to force everybody in this country to live their lives the way he wants them to. Now, I'm saying the way he wants because he particularly has stated what he wants. And his views, or his wants in this case, are particularly straightforward, out of his mouth. He wants what he wants. He's using some sort of reference to religion, like Christianity, and certain concepts that Christianity promotes. By the way, Christianity is mythological nonsense. Intelligent people don't, regardless of what some people say. Religious people are not smart. Christian peoples are not bright. And a lot of times, Christian people, particularly in the government, I mean, like Rand Paul, he's a senator. He's in, what the hell is he a senator from? In Kentucky? Is that where he's a senator? Kentucky? Like, what is he doing in frickin' Kentucky? That's another point. Might as well just say it now. How come people that are living in residents of a particular state, like born, raised in Texas, like Rand Paul, as far as I can tell, what are they doing running for senator in Kentucky? You don't understand what I'm saying? Why? I mean, that's sort of like, oh, I'm a politician for hire. Any state want to hire me to run for senator? I'll come and live in your state for 6 months and, then run for senator in your state and, represent you in Congress. But I'm here to get paid. I mean, I'm not going to do this for free because, I'm like a hired hand. A mercenary is what I'm saying. Like hiring a hitman, which I'm pretty sure is a crime. Anyway, I'm not saying that hiring a mercenary is a crime. Hiring a carpetbagger probably borders on wrong, and apparently he's a mercenary, or at least an opportunist. I'll get all those dumb people in Kentucky to vote for me and make me the senator of Kentucky, and then I can go to Washington and, be a fucking bully and kind of influence the whole country, or at least the government, in some way or another, to, kind of make the government, by voting for certain bills that are presented to Congress and presenting bills to Congress for their consideration to vote for and perhaps pass and make into law, stupid shit like forcing every person in America to live the way frickin' Rand Paul wants them to live. Talk about shoving bullshit down our throats. If the federal government says, hey, it's against the law, then that means, if you do it, you could be put in frickin' prison. So, if you don't want to go to prison, that's sort of like intimidation or blackmail or coercion or force. If you have an abortion, you go to jail. If you perform an abortion, go to jail. Excuse me? That's what Rand Paul wants. He wants the law saying you can't have an abortion. Understand what I'm saying? He's saying he wants to tell us we can't have an abortion because it's a crime and you'll go to jail. I'm not going to have an abortion, I'm a man. But, suppose I was a doctor and and my job as a doctor was to perform, an abortion to somebody who needs one. It is medically necessary to save the life of the woman. These bastards like Rand Paul, these religious zealot nitwit fucking stupid motherfuckers, I don't give a shit about you or, the woman that might be, like, dying, who might actually have a child, whoops, I almost said it wrong, who might have a fetus inside her womb, inside her body, that's going to kill her, or is going to be born with 5 heads. And, we can't abort that. That would be murdering a baby. I want to tell you something. If you think that's true, if that's your position, you're murdering a baby. If you think that's true, you're a fucking idiot. And you can, drop fucking dead. Abort yourself. You're insane. Anyway, Rand Paul. He's a bully. And he wants to be a tyrant. And he wants to be a part of the tyranny of a bullying fascist government terrorist organization. It's already a terrorist organization, but he wants to be a part of that terrorist organization and force everybody in America to live the way he wants. Like he's God. How stupid do people have to be to fall for this shit? What kind of idiot would believe this man and agree with this man and support this man? Let me just compare here. Just think about this. Just think. Adolf Hitler is running for senator of Kentucky. Well, in this case, running for re-election in Kentucky. And he wants, to be reelected so that he can do more harm to our freedom. So he can create more laws, or help create more laws with his fellow conspirator traitors in Washington. Other idiots and morons and bastards, the tyrants and bullies, who want to force some stupid religious nonsensical bullshit on every American. Seriously. If you don't see a problem with that, you're fucking stupid. Now, I'm maybe I shouldn't be ranting and raving and calling people stupid and shit, but damn. I mean, seriously. I mean, think about those people in Kentucky, and I'm saying, I'm sorry, people in Kentucky. If you're listening to this and you live in Kentucky or whatever, I'm sorry, but you're a fucking fool if you voted for this asshole. And it really bugs me that Rand Paul is the son of Ron Paul, who I kind of like, who's got a lot of good shit going for him, who's right on a lot of things. Who, by the way, served in Congress for like 40 years or so and, didn't accomplish fuck, not one fuck in 40 years. That's because, he voted, I'm not going to vote for anything that's like unconstitutional. Well, that's good and deal, wonderful. Except for the fact that a lot of other freaking moron asshole traitors in Congress did vote for it and, it became a law. So, and what about the laws that he said unconstitutional, and I'm guessing he voted for certain things in Congress that, like the budget. Yeah, I'm not voting for that budget because it's unconstitutional. And then he probably did vote. I'm not saying it. I don't know the record right now, but he probably voted for certain elements of Title 18 in the U.S. Code, which is an abomination, an outrage, an insult to freedom, an insult to every American, an insult to freaking, if there was a God, it'd be an insult to God. There is no God, by the way. No evidence to support that theory, so not true. All right. So anyway, why would you vote for some guy in Kentucky, and he's a freaking resident of Texas, I mean, don't you understand the concept of mercenary? Don't you understand the idea of carpetbagger? Oh, West Virginia is not innocent of that. West Virginia, let me think. Rockefeller, J. Rockefeller, West Virginia senator. He's going to retire as a West Virginia senator. It's just funny. Retire? This fucking asswipe? J. Rockefeller, he sent me a letter. Had my name on it, addressed to me, his signature at the bottom, where he said, I'm going to paraphrase here because I don't have the letter to read to you exactly what he said. It's here somewhere, but here's what he said. Paraphrasing again, quote. Well, I can't say quote if it's not an exact quote, can I? A paraphrase of what he said. He said he has the authority, he has the right, I'm paraphrasing, he has the authority, he has the right, he has the power to decide what is and what is not free speech. He has the right, he has the power, he has the authority. His words in there somewhere, trust me. To say what is sayable and what is not sayable. That he has the right to limit free speech. Basically what it is, and I'm kind of paraphrasing here again, I don't want to mislead you, but I'm pretty confident that what I'm going to say he said is exactly what he said, give or take a word or two. But it means, the bottom line is, he's a fucking tyrant and a bully. And he thinks he has the right to tell everybody in this country what they can say or cannot say. Because free speech is not free speech. Because free speech is not free. And you can't, say what you want. Even though the Constitution says they can't make a law telling you that you can't say something or have to say or whatever. I'm sorry, shall not be infringed. Shall make no law. The right to freedom of speech. There shall be no law. Okay? I'm not even paraphrasing you. I'm just quoting you. The right, freedom of speech, not be infringed. Congress shall make no law interfering with free speech, regulating, controlling, limiting, or dictating what free speech can be free and what speech cannot be free. But J. Rockefeller thinks he can do that. Apparently all by himself. Like his vote counts for like what? All of them? His vote is a majority? And why the human race has evolved to this point where, trust me here, my opinion. I don't very often say my opinion because most of the time I'm not talking about my opinion. My opinion is, my favorite ice cream is chocolate. In my opinion, strawberry ice cream is not as good as vanilla ice cream. My personal taste, my personal preferences based on my personal biases. So, I don't very often express an opinion because, what I think about freaking ice cream or big boobs or small boobs or whatever boob size I prefer. I'm not telling you at this point. Okay, I prefer medium to small boobs. I don't particularly care for large boobs. I just don't. Not that I would object if someone had them. If you got big boobs, lady, fine. More power to you. Good for you. You have the right to have whatever size boobs you got, because if you got them, you got them. But if they're bigger than, an orange, then they're huge. And I prefer them to be less than the size of a freaking orange. Well, about the size of an orange, let's say. About a handful. And, I wanted to say, I should probably save this for later. But anyway, just remind me to talk about shit. I forgot. Old man disease. All right. Rand Paul, tyrant, bully, piece of shit, carpetbagger from Texas, representative of Kentucky people that apparently not very bright. Because why would you vote? Put frickin' J. Rockefeller in? Rand Paul in Congress from Kentucky. I mean, that's like, let's think of somebody else. Hillary Clinton from New York. What? Why isn't that woman back in freaking Arkansas, cleaning toilets in a freaking prison? Or at least, hanging out at the psych ward or, in fucking Arkansas. Why is she, running for president? What freaking sane human being thinks that's okay? Knowing for a fact that she's a criminal, a liar, a mass murderer, guilty of crimes against humanity, murder probably. I mean, I'm just going to throw this in here. I don't have any evidence. I'm not saying for sure, but, Vince Foster and, 54 other people that are attached to her in some way, directly or indirectly, that have been dead lately or over the years. That's kind of a coincidence. Could be possible that I am not getting the right information here. I'm getting my signals crossed somehow or another that some guy that was going to testify against her in a court of law or before Congress or some damn thing is shot in the back a few times, like on a street somewhere, and the day before he's going to testify against Hillary, the fucking cunt puke bitch. Ooh, nasty, nasty, nasty. All right. Well, when people get frustrated and they have no outlet, they have no way to deal with their anger and their outrage at evil, criminal, disgusting things in the world, they have a tendency to get hot under the collar, a little angry, and perhaps rant and rave a bit. Because they got that, they've got freedom of speech, except when Rand Paul or J. Rockefeller wants them not to have it, in which case you might not, because they're more powerful than you and me. Alright, so I wanted to point out a phrase. I know I'm going back. And in case you forgot, I was talking about people getting donations and stuff to run for office, like senator and governor and whatever. And so the phrase that I wanted to point out to you here, which is a specific phrase that I wanted to address. I'm not going to address the campaign money and donations and bribes and payoffs and shit that goes on in Washington and so on around the country, because that's just mind-bogglingly huge, and you probably have a pretty good idea about that anyway. Alright, so here's the phrase. I'll read the whole sentence. Quote, any insinuation that his support was tied to anything other than his, capital letters here, desire to elect candidates who would help pass his agenda. Alright. Let me point out something here, and this is probably the spokesman that said this, the quote. The spokesman who said this probably is just not really the most literate person in the world, and probably does have an agenda of his own. Or is a part of a conspiracy that has an agenda. And don't be accusing me of being some sort of conspiracy theory nut, because that's just bullshit. That's just absolutely fucking stupid. Don't even go there. Alright? There's a conspiracy. There is. There's no question here. There are conspiracies going on in this country. There are factual, truthful, honest to God, there are conspiracies going on. It's not a theory. It's a fact. And of course there are some theories too, but I'm not talking about that. So what I want to point out to you here is, all right, quote, his desire to elect candidates, end quote. All right, suppose the spokesperson here, I don't suppose the author of the article misquoted the person, so I'm going to take at face value that the person who wrote the article, who quoted the spokesman, quoted him correctly and accurately and exactly what he said. I have no way of knowing for sure because I wasn't there, but it's in quotes, so I'm giving the credibility to the article, writer of the article, the author of this piece, for quoting accurately. And if I was to find the spokesman and say, did you say exactly those words? And maybe he would say yes or no, I don't know. But we have to take it for what it is, face value here. So what's the problem? The problem is governors don't elect candidates. You follow me? Oh, D, you're just being picky. Yeah, well, that's my job. That's what I do. I find things that are fucking stupid or wrong or illegal or treasonous or illogical or illiterate or examples of babble. Examples of where the mind benders have bastardized the English language. And then I tell you about it. That's my job. No, I don't want to say job because it's not a job like 9 to 5 and I don't get paid. The only payment I get is the reward of knowing I have just revealed bullshit or a skunk or some kind of conspiracy. Don't get me wrong, I don't liken myself to Rush Limbaugh or Alex Jones or anyone. Well, now that Ron Paul is a civilian, I'm thinking he is, he becomes put in the category of a person who expresses his views on things as a citizen. But still, as an ex-government official. All right? So, let's be clear. The words, his desire to elect candidates is just not right. It's not the way it should be said. Unless, of course, he does have the desire to elect candidates all by himself. I'm pretty sure that when a governor wants to put someone in an office, public office, like wants to put somebody in as a representative, what would you call it? What I'm saying, what I'm getting at is that the governor can appoint someone to fill a position if it's legal that he can do so. But governors do not single-handedly elect candidates to office. It's just not done. I mean, the voters do that. The voters elect people. I'm not saying it's the best system, democracy and all that. But, no. I'm just pointing out, man said, quote, his desire to elect candidates, end quote, that's not a good thing to say. That sounds like he's like all by himself, single-handedly electing people. And you just, no. The word elect there doesn't belong there. The man misspoke. Maybe he's just an idiot. Maybe he's illiterate. Can't read, write, or understand English. Maybe he doesn't understand that the word elect means elect, like in voting for someone, as opposed to appointing them or placing them in a position of power or in an office. Like you. I'm appointing you assistant governor or secretary to the governor. or I'm hiring you to be, the janitor in my house, in my office building. If he had an office building. I'm not talking about Congress or Capitol being his, because it doesn't belong to him. He's just there, using it because he was theoretically elected fairly and legally to be governor. And the spokesperson is, well, he was hired to be the spokesperson. He or she. So what I'm saying is, his desire to elect candidates is not a very good thing to hear. I don't want to hear any governor saying that. I don't want to hear any president saying, I'm going to elect candidates all by myself. And I elect Hillary Clinton to be president. It's absurd. But it's bad English. It's just wrong. And no. His desire to elect. He might have the desire to elect candidates if he wanted. Sure. Yeah, you can have the desire to elect people, but since he's not like the only voter in the fucking country, he can't. I'm just saying, the phraseology here is wrong, and it's inappropriate, it's incorrect, and it's just stupid. And anybody that says that way is just being dumb. Sorry. It's insulting to people who actually understand, read, write, speak, and comprehend English, which in America is very few people, by the way. I think I'm probably one of the few people in America who can actually read, write, comprehend, understand, and not actually have to interpret anything much, because if you say it right, I know what you're saying because I know what those words mean. Don't say elect if you meant his desire to see candidates elected. See what I'm saying? Let's put it the way I would have said it if I was actually in that position and saying such a thing, which will never happen because I'm never going to be a spokesperson for these fucking traitors and scumbags. Tyrants, bullies, etc. I would said myself. Now, free speech means he can say whatever he wants, but, if you say something that's wrong, and, somebody's like paying attention and said, hey, wait a minute, that's not right, then, which I have the right to point out that, what did you say? I said I'm going to elect a person to the governorship or to a senator's position all by my lonesome, because I have a power to do so because I'm like a god. Or at least I can give them a lot of money, which is payola. Anyway, talk about the Russians trying to influence the American election. This guy, not the author, not the spokesperson, but the actual governor of Virginia, who's like, I'm trying to influence the election in the United States of America. Not Virginia, by the way. I mean, his scope is outside the jurisdiction of a governor of a state. I mean, governor of a state does not elect federal officials. He might buy and sell them, but he doesn't elect them. So you understand what I'm saying? You get my point. If you don't get it, just listen to me again. Just rewind this and listen to it over and over and over and over and over again until it sinks into your brain, and your brain says, I got it. I know what you said, and it was English, and I understand it because I'm not stupid or illiterate. Or one of those bad guys. All right. Hold on for that idea. I just wanted to point that for a little phrase, have a few comments about it, say that. I said a few other things about other people like J. Rockefeller and Rand Paul, Tyrants, Bullies. Think they're fucking God. And they believe in stupid mythological gods that don't exist. And don't tell me that's my opinion. As far as I can tell, with the evidence I have and the data that I have to go by, my calculating logical mind comes to a conclusion that, nope, doesn't exist. Not Christian God, anyway. That would be impossible. Nothing is impossible with God. Excuse me. Apparently, there's a lot of things impossible because Ain't happening. Never did. Not likely to ever happen. The laws of physics apply. All right. So, I just wanted to say that about that elect candidates. Bullshit. What a fucking moron. If he says something like that, which is totally incorrect English, bad thing to say, stupid, illogical nonsense, irrational crap, then God knows what else these people will say. Okay? We're getting that. Hold on. What's this? As it turns out, in this particular story, the FBI director called Clinton's handling of classified information in the private email server as extremely careless, but argued no reasonable prosecutor would bring charges in the case. At least 110 emails were found to contain then classified information, despite Clinton's, that's Hillary, repeated claims to the contrary. Well, excuse me. Just want to point this out. At the end of the audio, okay, let me just, okay, say that. Listen up. Extremely careless and no reasonable prosecutor would bring charges. Okay? I'm reasonable. And although I'm not a prosecutor, I am certainly a person that is in a position to come to a conclusion. And my conclusion is, a reasonable, honest, genuine, legitimate prosecutor would, bring charges because there's a crime there. And the evidence says, she's guilty. Duh. So I'm going to bring charges against Hillary, and I would bring her to court, and here's the charges against you, you fucking cunt puke bitch. And probably not say it that way, because, wouldn't be appropriate in a court of law, I suppose. I'd make a hell of a judge. Judge Judy, eat your heart out. I would make a hell of a judge. No, I'm never going to be a judge. No one's ever going to appoint me as a judge. I'm not going to get elected. I could run for a local judge, I suppose, but, it's not going to happen. If I was to run against some of these politicians locally, I'd be dead. They would just kill me or disappear me or suicide me or whatever. I have no doubt about that. I know for a fact that there are certain people in local governments that are evil, evil, evil people. And they would do anything. They would do all kinds of criminal, evil, treasonous things. And I have no doubt that they would destroy me, have me arrested, drug off in chains, put in a dungeon, buried alive, killed, destroyed, ruined, lied about, slandered, and defamed, and just pretty much destroyed. Because I know for a fact there are such people in power, local governments, Shinston, West Virginia being one of them. I'm assuming that perhaps the same municipal judge in 1999? No, 2006. 2006, December 6, 2006. Municipal judge in Shinston, West Virginia. Yeah, if you don't know where Shinston is and you don't give a shit, that's fine. But, if you wanted a little bit of knowledge about that, you could look up Shinston, West Virginia on the internet, and it'll tell you about the government of the burg of Shinston. And I haven't checked lately, but if he's still the municipal judge, and I'm not even going to give you a name because I can't pronounce it properly. I don't want to make a mistake here and accuse the wrong person or give a wrong name. But I'm going to do it. I will expose this bastard, this traitorous bully, even if he's not now the current municipal judge of Shinston, West Virginia. And certain police officers in the police department of Shinston, West Virginia, are bullies, terrorists, in fact, and traitors, and evil people. Because, and I'll just give you a little hint here at this point, I'm going to do a whole show on this Shinston caper, conspiracy against me. I should speak about this from a person who has directly involved. I am the guy that these bastards intimidated, harassed, threatened. Oh yeah, they threatened me. Threatened my life. Certainly threatened my freedom. Intimidation, threats, harassment, and so on. I'll get to the whole story in a future episode. But if those people are still connected to Shinnston, then the traitorous criminal bullies are still in power. And that's not right. I should have sued the city of Shinnston 10 years ago when the first happened, and I've let it go. I don't think there's a statute of limitation on charging somebody with fucking treason and making terrorist threats against a citizen, as that municipal judge did. My memory is perfect on that one. I remember what was done, what was said back in 2006 by the scumbag, tyrant, bully, motherfucking pieces of shit cocksuckers, municipal judge of Shinnston, and one of their police officers, actually two police officers that I know of, in the Shinnston thing. Alright, we'll talk more about that later on. Alright? Let me take a quick look here. I'm going to pause for a second. Oh yeah, I'm going to finish up with this Hillary Clinton thing. The prosecutor is not going to prosecute. They're not going to charge her with a crime, even though she committed a crime, even though they know she's committed a crime, even though they said she committed a crime. They're not going to bring charges against her because, why? Are they afraid that she will have them killed? Maybe. But it tells you something about the government of this country. It tells you about the Justice Department and so on. It tells you that it's rigged. They're all fucking conspiring to destroy America, freedom, and justice. And if you're not outraged, then there's something wrong with you. See, one of my problems is I talk to you and you're listening and I say things directly to you. Like you, the person listening to me right now. So I just pretty much just say it straight out, you have got to be the dumbest person on the planet. Well, that's just, it's a kind of a generalization that's pointed directly at you, and I shouldn't do that because you may not be that person. You may be like me. You might have intelligence. You might have come to the same conclusions I have. You might be listening to this just to be listening to someone of like mind, and so forth. So, forgive me for saying that about you, the general you, not you particularly, because, Bob or Jim or Frank or Bruce or whatever your name might be, or Helen or Betty or whatever. Betty? Anyway, I gotta go. End of segment. I'm gonna post this. You can listen to it at your leisure. I'll catch you later. Oh, by the way, D. McClung, Art Monologues. Bye for now.